Hi, everyone. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to How Jasper Uses Jasper. My name is Samyutha. I lead enterprise marketing at Jasper, and I'll be your host kicking things off today. I'm currently located in not so sunny Los Angeles, where it's been pouring for the past week straight. So I'd love if you could drop in the chat your name and where you're tuning in from. I am already seeing a ton of energy in the chat. I see UK, I see Canada, I see Nashville, Tennessee, I see the Philippines. So it's great to see you all here. A little bit about me. I've been at Jasper for just under a year now, which basically means about 7 in Jasper years. I was brought on to lead our strategy on how we position Jasper for teams and businesses. Fun fact about me, it's my first time marketing for a company whose target audience is marketers. And I know I'm biased, but my job has literally never been more fun. So a small shout out to all of us marketers on the line. We're a fun group. With all that being said, we have 30 minutes with you today, and that's going to go really quick. I'm going to try to keep the fluff to a minimum so we can focus on showing you exactly how Jasper uses Jasper and build a content campaign for you from start to finish right in front of you. We'll primarily be speaking from the perspective of teams using Jasper, but this event is relevant to anyone who creates campaigns and wants to explore how to incorporate generative AI into their workflows a little bit more. So here's what to expect in the next 30 minutes. You'll hear from 3 key members of the team, including myself, on what areas of marketing we own, how we pass the baton to one another during the process of creating a campaign, and we'll show you a pre-recorded demo on how we use the product. You'll hear from Alton on content, Krista on SEO, and from myself from a demand generation perspective. We'd love to live demo these things in the future, but 30 minutes was a hard sell. So we recruited our good friend Kyle from the customer education team. Kyle spent the last week shadowing us on how we use Jasper and has created a really succinct explanation. So you'll be hearing from him as well. We'll end each of our sessions by answering the most frequent question that each of us get asked within our specific discipline. With that being said, I have one final announcement. We have 2 free tickets to Gen AI that will be raffled off to attendees of this webinar alongside a $500 travel voucher. So Gen AI is the industry's first user conference and Jasper's first annual conference. It's on February 14th in San Francisco, and the team truly couldn't be more excited to be hosting this. We'll have a ton of customers there, investors. You can meet other folks that use Jasper, other businesses. And importantly, we'll have incredible speakers like the Jasper executive team, Kevin Roos from the New York Times, Nat Friedman, a couple of other really prolific folks in kind of the tech ecosystem. So without further ado, I will pass it off to Alton. And in the meantime, please pop all of your questions in the chat. We'll have Jasper folks monitoring that and responding. And if we have time, we can even answer a couple questions live at the end. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to Alton.
Awesome. Thanks, Samyutha. And thank you all for joining. Really appreciate your interest in Jasper and how we can all use it to make our marketing content that much better. So I am a content marketing manager here. And with that, I write a lot. I'm largely responsible for building out our thought leadership blog, as well as helping out with some ebook content creation. And a major KPI for me is building long form articles between 1 and 2 pretty much every week. And that can include interviews, research. Most of my content is largely based around those 2 elements. And I use Jasper to both kickstart my content creation process, as well as help get pieces over the finish line. And as I'm sure all of you on this call are aware, there's a lot that goes into building just one individual piece of content, from generating a title to building the story outline to writing the copy itself. And then if you are interviewing, generating the interview questions, and then editing those, interview responses for length and clarity, also within a specific style, whether it be AP or MLA. And so the specific functionalities that I use will vary from story to story, depending on what I choose to do ahead of time. But ultimately, Jasper is a bit of a jack of all trades. It can do a lot of different functionalities in a very short amount of time. So as Samyuktha mentioned, our friend Kyle is going to take us on a journey through what it looks like to build an article from start to finish. This particular article is a 1,300 word piece. It doesn't include certain elements like interview responses and editing and things of that nature. However, if you jump into the tool, feel free to mess around with some of that functionality. But ultimately, this video shows a comprehensive article being constructed. And without further ado, I will let Kyle take it away.
Hey there, I'm Kyle, and today I'm going to show you how we here at Jasper use Jasper. Seems pretty obvious, right? Well, today we're going to go on a content writing journey with our friendly AI assistant, Jasper. So let's begin. When using Jasper to write content, such as a blog post, there are a multitude of options within the Jasper app that you can choose from. But with the recent addition of Jasper Chat, it has quickly become my go-to spot to kick off my content writing workflows. Once I have a new document open, I'll access the Jasper Chat feature by clicking here. Jasper Chat works just like any other messaging app you have used before, except here you get to interact with an AI assistant who knows how to write about anything in any style. Let's say that we want to write a blog post entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI. And since we know the title of this blog, the next step is obviously generating an outline. So simply type out a prompt or message in the message field area, just like you would talk to a friend. How about generate an outline for a blog post entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI? Pretty simple, right? And look at this result. Fantastic. Now we have a great outline to work with. For me, I will use this area over here in the right as my working document to keep each piece and part of my work as I go along. You can do this by quickly copying and pasting like this. And of course, once pasted inside the document area, you can make any edits you want. But for us today, let's just use the suggested outline. Now I'm going to keep working inside of the Jasper Chat area. The next prompt I will typically give is generate an intro for a blog post about the above. You see, this works because when we say that Jasper is AI, he really is. He is constantly reading, analyzing, and learning from the chat history that you have with him. Pretty neat, huh? Well, what's next? From here, we need to start writing the actual blog post. Of course, you could simply tell Jasper to write a blog post about the above for your target audience, and in this case, it'd be marketing teams. And he'll do it just like this. Super impressive, but most of the time it isn't quite long enough, but certainly it's a great start. A better way to do this would be to grab an individual outline item and ask Jasper to generate a paragraph about that outline item like so. This produces a great paragraph full of helpful content for your readers. And you can always have him quickly rewrite it again if you don't like the first output he gave by clicking right here. Now again, this is a great way to quickly work through your outline. But to get longer content, I use another little trick. I will actually grab my outline item again, but this time ask Jasper to write a blog about that outline item. Slick, huh? You see, now Jasper writes a mini blog post about that one outline item. It's full of amazing content, and rather than me asking Jasper to expand a paragraph over and over to get to my desired length, he has now written enough that I can actually begin to trim back and edit and make sure that there's no overlap from other sections. As you can see, I'm able to quickly write my entire blog post and move from the writing phase to the editing phase of my workflow. Once all my writing is positioned inside of the document editor, I can edit the content. You will need to fact check Jasper's writing just to make sure that the most recent and accurate statistics are in there and that the quotes and information in the blog post are accurate. And then you can add any styling effects you want as well. And before you know it, your entire blog post is ready to go, all before your cup of coffee ever got cold.
Awesome. I am consistently impressed that we have this technology at our disposal. It's really amazing stuff. And definitely helpful in my like week over week content production process. So there are a few questions that are pretty common that I get within my role as a content producer that uses a content creation tool to help with my job. And one of them is, will Jasper commit plagiarism in its generations? And Jasper, what it does is it pulls information from sources across the internet, but it doesn't just regurgitate what it gets and spit it out line for line. It rewrites it and rephrases content based on the task at hand. But even if you gave Jasper a prompt and you repeated that same exact prompt character for character 10 different times, it would give you 10 different responses. And then you could be sitting directly next to someone who enters the same exact prompt on their computer 10 times, and the same thing will happen. You'll get 10 different responses. So ultimately, the AI was built to give unique responses every time you press enter on giving it a prompt. And what we found is that Jasper writes unique content 99.98% of the time. That's what technical experts at this company that are far smarter than myself have discovered. But if you are worried about plagiarism, Jasper also has a built-in plagiarism checker, which you can use to double check Jasper's work. And all you have to do is just copy and paste anything you'd like to use, anything you'd like to check for plagiarism within this plagiarism checker, and it'll determine whether or not something was written in that exact way somewhere else across the internet. The second question I often get is, will this tool replace content writers? And as a content writer that is employed at a generative AI company, I can tell you no. I was hired seven weeks ago, and the basis of me coming on and my major response to this is that tools like this will make writers better, faster, more efficient at their roles. It'll give more writers more time and opportunities to generate ideas that can elevate their marketing organization's brand, that can introduce new ideas into the spaces that these companies are in, which is exactly what I was hired on to do. I was brought on to use my content expertise to help elevate the Jasper brand. And so that opportunity will be provided to other content specialists like myself who can use these tools to get more time back in their day and just build better, harder hitting content that they might not have had the time to be able to do otherwise. And another like really key element of that is when you have more time, you can evolve other skills that you might want to evolve, like interviewing or working on side projects, or maybe diving into Google Analytics, which is something that I would love to have more time to be able to do. And I feel as though I am afforded that time because the writing process is just a little bit smoother and easier for myself. So it just gives writers opportunities to come up with better content in a shorter amount of time, basically. So with all that being said, I will pass the torch to Krista, who can, throughout the chain of production of an article like this, I would pass the story along to her. She'll apply her expertise from an SEO perspective to it. And yeah, I'll pass the torch to her.
Hey everybody, my name is Krista Doyle and I help manage our SEO strategy here at Jasper. So that means I oversee our organic content strategy. I do technical auditing to make sure our site stays healthy, and I help refresh existing content to make sure it stays up to date topically and in line with evolving SEO best practices. I don't know about all you other SEOs out there who have tried Jasper, but for me, it's been such a welcome addition to my workflow, obviously for content optimization, but also for technical tasks like schema markup and keyword research tasks like classifying your keywords based on intent. And now that you've seen Alton and Kyle walk through how to use Jasper to actually create a piece of content, I want to show you how our latest product, Jasper Chat, can help make optimizing that content super easy. So this is a real workflow. I use it almost every day to classify keywords, write FAQs, generate schema, and write meta descriptions, all from within our Jasper Chat interface. So yeah, take it away, Kyle.
Welcome back. In part 2, we are going to take that blog post that we just wrote entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI and optimize that content for search. Let's go. We're going to pick up right where we left off inside of the document editor with Jasper Chat opened up. Believe it or not, Jasper Chat produces amazing results when optimizing your content of any kind for search results. Now, there are a few prompts inside Jasper Chat that our team of SEO experts here at Jasper will use as it relates to a blog post like this. And the first area has to do with keyword classification. To do this, you will of course need to have done a little bit of research on your own to determine which keywords you are seeking to rank and produce results for. Once you have done this, you can actually take those keywords and terms and have Jasper classify and organize them based on search intent. Check it out. For a blog post like this, I would run this prompt. Classify the following keywords based on search intent, whether transactional or informational, and then insert all of my search terms that I'm wanting to rank for, best AI marketing tool, etc., etc. And now when you send this into Jasper, he uses his amazing database and artificial intelligence to organize those keywords for you, whether transactional or informational. How incredible is that? Now from here, a very common next step is to build out an FAQ section for your blog post to beef up its SEO footprint. And Jasper is awesome at FAQs. He can not only answer them, he can actually create them and even base them on your keywords. Input a prompt like this. Generate a list of FAQs for a blog post entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI and emphasize the keywords. And then of course, insert your keywords as you've done before. Now Jasper generates FAQs that relate to those SEO keywords and search terms that you're wanting to produce results for. And guess what? All you have to do next is ask him to answer the above FAQs, and then Jasper reads and analyzes those questions and answers them perfectly. Of course, if you have a list of FAQs that you know you want to answer, you can of course run them individually and ask Jasper to answer them. One of the final steps is to take that FAQ section and have Jasper generate an FAQ schema markup based on those questions. Now, typically this takes quite a bit of research and time for anyone working on this stage of the process, but Jasper does it in the blink of an eye. Here is the prompt. Generate schema.org FAQ schema markup using the above questions and answers. Check out this result. It's literally website ready, and all you have to do is hand it off to your website developer. He'll thank you later, trust me. And of course, we can't forget meta descriptions. The prompt there is as simple as you can make it. Write a meta description for a blog post entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI. And would you look at that, an entire meta description in the blink of an eye. Now, I don't know about you, but SEO work just became FUN work.
SEO is FUN. There you have it. Thank you, Kyle. So yeah, those are just a few of the simple ways you can use Jasper Chat to help streamline some of your more repetitive SEO tasks. Now, when it comes to this stuff, there are two big questions that we get a lot. And the first is, does Google penalize AI-assisted or AI-generated content? So if you follow that conversation online, which you probably do, you've probably seen that Google's John Mueller recently came out and clarified that no, Google does not penalize AI content. it does what it's always done, which is penalize bad content. So whether you're using humans only or humans plus AI, it doesn't matter as long as what you're creating is still really, really good and helpful for your audience. And what good really means in regards to AI is, like Alton said earlier, you still need humans in the mix. Jasper can help you create a piece of content faster and improve your workflow, but you still need that human touch to edit, fact check, add opinions and narrative, all those little human touches that really take a piece of content from good to great. And the second question is, how is Jasper Chat different from ChatGPT? We have a really great relationship with OpenAI since GPT 3.5 is one of the language models that we leverage here at Jasper. The big difference is Jasper leverages a few different language models to make sure that no matter what you're asking him to do, he's using the best possible technology for that task. And then we really tailor that tech to the needs of our customers. So most of our customers right now are marketers. That means Jasper has been tweaked and tailored to be really, really good at solving problems and pain points for marketing and sales. And right now, that's, I would say, the biggest difference between Jasper Chat and ChatGPT. I think our customer support team also addressed that question in the chat just now. So you can go check out their much more eloquent explanation of how that works. But yeah, go have some fun with Jasper Chat. And now I will pass it over to Samhita to hear more about integrating that content into a broader campaign.
Thank you, Krista. And hi again, everyone. In my section, I'm really going to figure out how, as a demand gen focused marketer, I can take an optimized blog post and create a content campaign from that blog post. So I kind of know on my side of the house that effective and reusable content is paramount to me driving the most demand with the resources I have. We've heard marketing gurus and influencers state the obvious for years, that brands will prioritize all channels and only the brands that prioritize omni-channel approaches will win. And really, that's the only way to stay competitive. And what that means for us is it's not just a great social media presence and a blog with really great readership, but also a podcast and also speaking sessions and virtual events and conferences and co-marketing activities. It feels like the expansion of channels is a great thing for content discovery, but not such a great thing for overworked marketers. And that's sort of where generative AI comes in. With Jasper, I can take an optimized blog post and spin up 3 core components of a demand generation campaign: a landing page, emails, and ad copy, about 10 times faster than it took me before I started using Jasper. So passing it off to Kyle, here's how my part of the campaign creation process goes once I have that optimized blog post in hand.
In this final video, we are going to cover how to promote this awesome blog post that we just created and optimized for search. We're going to cover how to create landing page copy, ad copy, and even how to create emails that your sales team can use to share with potential clients. So once again, let's dive in. As you can see, we are working from the same blog post, but to create various copy for certain use cases, we really need to summarize this blog post and then generate copy based on that summarization. So just like there's an app for everything, inside Jasper, there is a template for everything. Let's copy our blog post first, and then let's head over to the template section in the nav bar. And next, open up the template titled Content Summarizer. Now you will notice you have 12,000 characters to post into this input field here on the left, which is usually more than enough when working with a 1,000 to 1,500 word blog post. So simply paste in the entire blog post and then hit generate. Jasper then reads, analyzes, and summarizes the entire blog post in a flash. And believe it or not, I found that this entire summarization right here produces some amazing copy for promotional materials in and of itself. But let's take that summarization text and build some copy of our own from Jasper Chat. Let's go back to our document with Jasper Chat opened up. The first copy we need is for a landing page. Let's try this prompt. Generate landing page copy for a blog post titled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI, which discusses the following points, and then insert your summary. Now Jasper, as you know by now, reads and produces an entire web page worth of content in the Flash for you to use. Next, I typically need some ad copy for a blog post like this, and so I'll give this sort of a prompt. Generate ad copy for social media channels about a blog post entitled A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI, which discusses the following points. And again, insert your summary that we just created. Now this is great, but I need more. So I'll say, give me 3 more options and use the hashtag #JasperAI. And how about that? All the social media content you can need in a flash. How about we write some emails now? How would we do that? You guessed it, Jasper Chat. Give a prompt like this. Write me an email promoting the blog post, A Marketing Team's Guide to Generative AI for a Jasper AI salesman to a potential client. How about that? An entire email in a flash. Need a few more? Just ask Jasper. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And after you're done asking Jasper to do all of that hard work, don't forget to say thank you. He likes that. Well, folks, this has been a quick and hopefully informative series on how we here at Jasper use Jasper. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kyle. And with that, we've started from a blank page and ended up with a full campaign. In conclusion, content takes so many different forms, all of which began with a blank page and a creative spark. But with all of these pieces of content comes friction, iteration, and so many false starts. Having generative AI being a steward during this process has been a game changer for me as a marketer and my team. A question that I get asked a ton as someone that's a leader within Jasper is, do you think this removes creativity within teams? Does it feel like you're giving your teams a cheat code? And internally, it's really important to understand that Jasper is very much in startup land as well. We operate very lean and have very big goals, as I'm sure everyone on this call can relate to. My job as a marketing leader is to make my team as productive and feel as fulfilled as possible. It's making sure that Alton moved as far away from being a machine that takes in inputs and churns out content and can really move to being a strategist. Jasper helps make that happen. For product marketing, this means Greg on my team can spend less time creating product description pages over and over again, and more time working on launch strategy, goals, and really being integrated into the product team. From a career perspective, as a manager, this is what helps me supercharge my team. On the creativity front, I actually think that in the age of remote work, Jasper kind of feels like I tapped my coworker on the shoulder and started spitballing ideas. Especially with the introduction of the chat interface, Jasper has, done so much more than just taking commands and creating a foundation of content to actually being a brainstorm buddy as well. And I know everyone on this call can relate to that as well, Krista and Alton. And with that being said, that's really brought us to the end of the 30 minutes. And like I promised you, it was just 30 minutes. There's so much more we didn't cover. There's so many more folks on our team that use Jasper for their specific department. So if you have requests for how other folks within Jasper use Jasper, or if you'd like to see a deep dive on any of our departments, feel free to email us after and get in touch with us. And the last thing I wanted to mention is we have so many of you that were gracious enough to join us on this virtual event. I'm so excited to give away 2 tickets to Gen AI and a $500 travel credit. So I'll be reaching out to the winner of that after this virtual event ends. And thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and we look forward to doing more of these again. Krista, Alton, I don't know if you have anything else to say, but thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yes, very much appreciated. Thank you.